This is Boxing Talk 8576, man. I want to talk about the Triple G and the Danny Jacobs fight. Now, going to the fight, I did pick Triple G to win by late round stoppage. But I always thought Danny Jacobs had a chance to do good versus Triple G because of his height, man, and his hand speed, and the fact that he was a better athlete that Triple G has fought up to this point. But nevertheless, I thought Triple G would overcome all that and just win and win by knockout. But that didn't happen. Danny Jacobs had a really good game plan. He had a game plan of not coming out and meeting Golovkin in the center of the ring and trying to push him back. He actually wanted to box Triple G, which I thought that was going to be a mistake, boxing Triple G. I thought he had to come out and push Triple G back. But in his game plan, he had a plan of jabbing and circling Triple G, or giving up ground to lure Triple G in and just throwing pop shots. Danny Jacobs really didn't load up on a lot of shots. It was more of keep away from me punches. Yeah, I'm going to land punches because you are coming in, but it was more like keep away and me being able to protect my chin from me getting hit on the chin as much. Now, I didn't score the fight. It was just my assessment of looking at the fight and looking at round by round, which a lot of rounds were close. It was some swing rounds in there. It was some rounds in there where you could say Danny Jacobs won. It was some rounds in there where you could say Triple G won. Triple G did knock him down in the fourth round. I believe it was the fourth round. And to me, Triple G landed the harder shots. Triple G had a nice stiff jab that was pushing Danny Jacobs' head back. Danny Jacobs did have a good jab too. He was throwing some good jabs, and actually Danny Jacobs landed a few good combinations on Triple G. But Triple G never looked hurt. He didn't look like when I was looking at the fight. It didn't look like he was ever in danger of me. When a shot hit him, that he's going to be hurt by it. Danny Jacobs was hurt about 3 or 4 times in this fight. More than just being knocked down, he was hurt after that. In other rounds, he was hurt. And I thought Danny Jacobs turned southpaw too much. It did have Golovkin a little bit confused in the beginning, especially in the beginning. But I thought Danny Jacobs turned southpaw too much. I thought he should have stayed with his dominant hand. And I understand that his game plan was to confuse Golovkin, which he did a good job of doing that. But nevertheless, man, it was a close fight. It was a tough fight. I mean, you're gonna get these sometimes. And I thought Triple G won by about 2 or 3 rounds. But nevertheless, Danny Jacobs, he did good. He did better than what I thought he was gonna do. But listen to the narrative of all these other channels, man. They saying Triple G got exposed. I don't know how a guy gets exposed who had these many title defenses and has fought guys in the division that were willing to fight. Peter Quillen and Danny Jacobs, they took a little while to get in the ring with him, even though Peter Quillen still haven't fought him. But Danny Jacobs, I remember Danny Jacobs saying he needed about 2 or 3 more fights and all that stuff. But nevertheless, you can only fight who they put in front of you at that point. At that point, he had dominated all the guys that got in the ring with him. People fail to realize he beat Curtis Stevenson, who Curtis Stevenson be starching people. He beat Lemieux, and Lemieux be starching people. Actually, Lemieux just starts Curtis Stevenson, and Lemieux had a piece of the belt when he beat Lemieux, so it was unification. So Triple G didn't get exposed. It's just Danny Jacobs had a really good game plan. At some point, you have to give credit to another fighter and stop trying to take credit from the other fighter. Danny Jacobs came in with a great game plan, and he implemented the game plan. But for all that game plan he implemented, he still came up short. Triple G still won the fight. So you got to say a guy got exposed when he won the fight, that's a bad time to say a guy got exposed. I don't see how you can say a guy got exposed when he wins the fight. I mean, and it wasn't a terrible fight. It was a good performance by both fighters. You know what I'm saying? So both fighters come out, with a stock up per se. No guy come out of here with no stock down. I know a lot of people say Triple G stock is down. He should be pulled 3 or 4 notches from a pound for pound. Pound for pound is perspective anyway. Is all predicated. Really, pound for pound is predicated on if a guy can move up in weight, and if he can fight that guy, if he can fight another guy with the same skills that he got, is he able to beat a guy that's a weight class or a 2 weight class above him? Like if a welterweight with his skill set, if he was a middleweight, could he beat the middleweight? It's just it's predicated on that type of stuff. But anyway, I think Danny Jacobs did good. For people that thought Danny Jacobs was good, I don't see how you can say Triple G was exposed. And another thing, for the people out there who I know who say they think Triple G was a hype job before the fight started. So if you thought Triple G was a hype job before the fight started, how can he get exposed after the fight, after he win the fight? If he was a hype job, and if you thought Danny Jacobs was a pretty good fighter, how can Triple G be a hype job after beating a guy that was a pretty decent fighter? You know what I'm saying? Who Danny Jacobs, probably the second best middleweight in the division, which he probably is. He can make a great case that he's a second best middleweight in the division. So how do the best middleweight in the division get exposed by the second best middleweight in the division is beyond me. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's then people throwing out the Ward and Triple in the Golovkin fight to justify this fight either way on either side. I just think it's more about a lot of guys came into this fight going for the black fighter, the quote unquote black fighter. A lot of people came in the fight going for the quote unquote white fighter, and it's in a lot of cases it's racially motivated anyway, man. So the people that was going for Danny Jacobs and Danny Jacobs lost are hollering robbery, and the people that was going for Triple G and they don't think Triple G did as well, they saying, oh well, Triple G did beat him, and that justifies the fight. Which it comes down to, for these guys, it comes down to winning and losing. Triple G, if he have to make any adjustments in his boxing game, he can do it with a win. It's always good to make an adjustment after you win a fight than after you lose a fight, because people want to win, man. People want to win their fights, and that's the main objective is going in there and winning your fight. And if you have to learn a lesson, at least you want to learn a lesson winning. So Danny Jacobs, I would love to see the rematch, but I want to see if Golovkin can get that fight with Billy Joe Saunders first, because he will have a chance to be undisputed, man. And we don't have any undisputeds that I know of right now anyway. We don't have any undisputeds in any weight class. So that's a big thing to have an undisputed to say, this is the guy. This is the guy in the division, and this is the guy that everybody got to chase. Would I love to see him fight Danny Jacobs again? Yes, I would love to see that fight again, because I would like to see the what difference that Golovkin would do in the fight. Danny Jacobs really don't have to change that much, other than don't go to southpaws too many times. But Triple G may have to have some, a twinkle here a little bit in the boxing match to do something different. But yes, I would like to see that fight. If he don't fight Billy Joe Saunders, I think his next fight should be Danny Jacobs. I don't think he should be going to no Canelo fight, no Canelo quote unquote super fight. You either fight Billy Joe Saunders or you go right back to Danny Jacobs, because to me those are only two fights right now that should be on GGG's agenda as far as me being a fan of boxing. Now, those are the two fights. But people need to stop bickering, man, and stop hollering robbery, man. Like, when it's a close fight, and if you agree it's a close fight, and if it goes to the guy who you didn't root for, it's not a robbery, man. It's just called a close fight. And if you admit it was a close fight, then it's not a robbery. When a fighter gets into the ring, is him and the opponent, and there's 3 judges outside the ring, and it's the referee inside the ring. The fighter has a job to do. Now, it's in his hands to go in there and win the fight decisively. Either win by beating the guy up so much the referee jump in, or beat him so much that his corner got to throw in the towel, or knock the man out. Now, if you don't do that as a fighter, there are 3 judges out there that's going to critique and tell you what they like and what they dislike with your performance. So when it goes to the judges' scorecards, it shouldn't be no crime because you had a chance to make the judges spectators. You know what I'm saying? And if you put it in their hands, it is what it is at that point. So this is Bot Salt 8576. Let me know what you think. I'm out.